Good evening, everybody. You join me, Tiger, and Speed at Nürburgring as we just see the guys leaving the pits now to carry out their what is 6 minutes qualifying. Preempted myself there, obviously didn't give Speed the introduction he deserves, but we all know who he is, and if you don't know who he is, then come race with us and you'll find out. How you doing, Speed?
I'm doing great, mate. Yourself?
As ever, looked forward to today. It's working today. I think to myself, God, crikey, holy moly, I wish the day would hurry up so I can get on and do this. I always look forward to the Thursday nights, always full of some great racing. And of course, to remind ourselves, the whole point of the Thursday night, the mini league is, one car, 5 tracks, short qualifying, short racing, the whole idea, get you all together, come out here and enjoy some racing. For those RWE members who are not quite so regular, just want to pop in and do one or several, they can. And of course, this is where we very much invite members of the community, come along and race with us. Let's have some fun. This is what this is all about. We're not interested in politics or religion or anything else. We're just interested in having fun. So come along. Speed, the Audi RS5 2016. I've got some personal experience with this wonderful car because I had an RS5. But do you want to talk to us about this particular model?
Yeah, it's a beautiful, as it says, it's a DTM, so it's the Deutsche Meister, whatever Touring, however the Germans pronounce it, championship. Which is, even though it says it's an Audi RS5, I think the only thing that resembles and is from the Audi is the headlights. Everything else is completely custom and doesn't resemble anything to do with the car. It's just a carbon monocoque chassis with I think it's a V8 in. I can't remember the engine, the literage, but it's a V8 with huggings and huggings of downforce, a DRS system that basically triggers over the line, and you have 3 users within the lap to use it. In real life, you're limited, I think it's to 12 in the race. So, yeah, it's an absolute beast. One of my favourite classes to race, and I'm ashamed I'm not out there.
Yeah, likewise, mate. It's my favourite as well, and I think Race Room have modelled the DTM series, all of them actually, the AMG, the BM M6, and the Audi RS5, absolutely bloody wonderfully. They're just a joy to drive. So let's remind ourselves. So 6-minute qualifying, 8-minute race. There's damage is not on, I don't believe. There's no mandatory pit stop. Flag rules are pretty much irrelevant because, well, it's unlikely you'll lap anyone. We're at Nürburgring. Let's remind ourselves of the Nürburgring, heart of Germany in Rhineland. The Rhineland Palatinate. I can never say it properly, but centre of Germany essentially. GP circuit, this one, 3.1 miles, 5.1 Ks, 15 corners, 9 right, 6 left, 1 parabolica, 2 hairpins, 1 chicane, 11 named corners. And of course, this is actually the Südschleife, which is the southern loop, the Nordschleife, the northern loop, which of course majority of people are more familiar with. And to this day, you can take your car around the Nordschleife, the northern loop, which is 12.1 miles or 12.9 miles, sorry, long. The Südschleife, the GP circuit, both of those circuits can be combined together to create one. God, can you imagine that? Yeah, so the southern loop here, the Nürburgring actual GP circuit is, as I said, 3.1 miles, 5.1 Ks, and this circuit has hosted every single type of racing series there is, and when you combine the Nordschleife with the Südschleife and you create that enormous 20 actually it's both combined as a 15 miles, but in its earlier days when the track was first formed, in when was that, 1927, it was 17.5 miles there. And in those days, in 1927, well, guess what? 2 years later, when they started doing endurance races, it was 17.5 miles. And later on, about 20 or 30 years later, Sir Jackie Stewart, the great Scot, was renowned as calling this circuit the Green Hell. The Green Hell. So it's a really good circuit, isn't it?
It's an excellent circuit. It's probably one I don't have a disliked circuit. I don't think. I like circuit. I don't. The circuits that I don't do well at. But this is one of the circuits I do really enjoy. I don't know why I enjoy it. I just really do enjoy racing around this circuit. Full stop.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, it's got everything, hasn't it? But so let's talk about the guys then. We've got 18 guys out there tonight. We've got we've got Forgotten Company out there. Good to see Forgotten Company again from Belgium. We've got Benjamin Rossignol, who's really, really doing so well in our Formula One league, and the guys absolutely loves racing with him. I think he's with Cookie Monster Motorsport. We've got Thomas Pinto from the wonderful Portugal. I've been chatting to him today. What a lovely guy. He's out there as well, so a good shout out to him. And the rest are RWB members. As I have, as you have, despite the fact we're DTM lovers, they all look forward to the Thursday nights, don't they?
Yep. I think the Thursday night is obviously it's a unique thing in the sim racing thing. We call it a mini league because it is effectively a mini league. You do 5 races in the night. You point scoring, them 5 races. You have qualifying, a race distance. It's just one of them that it gives you the flavour of the club within a short period of time.
Yeah, absolutely.
We do relax some of the rules, but not to the point where it's a demo derby. The rules are still there. We still want you to obey by them, but you're not going to get, banned from a race or something like that. It's one of them that you're just going to get a swift word talking to slap on the wrist.
Yeah, this is as we say.
White.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. As we say, this is where you learn your racecraft. This is where you refine your racecraft. This is where you practice, and this is where you train, and this is where we open the doors and say to people, come along and have a race. But we don't care what club you're part of or anything else. What binds us together is the fact that, you love to sim race, so come along. Good, great. So 15 seconds left now. They've got to get on the track. There's all 19 runners. We're currently on auto director. The red lights are on, and as soon as the green light is go, which is now, and they're away. And hopefully a nice clean start down to the first corner, which is a right-hander, a bit of a hairpin called the Haug Hacken.
Oh, it just looks so beautiful.
Doesn't it just?
All the DTM cars. Yeah, we're using the RS5, not using the Merc or the BMW in this, with it being a single car and 5 tracks tonight. So we're only going to see the Audi in various different colour schemes.
Yeah. Give us a number between 1 and 19 speed.
You do this to me every week.
I know.
You should just say we're going on board with such and such, because you can't choose either. Let's go with a 7.
Number 7, riding with number 7, which is Evil. Great to see Evil. I know he's got some real life stuff going on. Great to see him back out there. We're riding with. Did you take it off auto director?
I didn't touch anything. Don't blame me. I didn't touch anything.
So we're riding with Evil, and Evil's currently in second place. John Haig, the chief track master, there he is in front there. Evil will always bring it to Rigel, but I'm going to stay with Evil as he comes down the crikey, orientate myself. Just gone through the Advent Bogan up to the NGK chicane. You're going through the chicane, left entry, then a right hander. But as we go around the Coca-Cola curve and cross the line, I wonder whether you can take this time speed to just give everyone a perception of the track and your lines and things like that.
Yep, so obviously we're coming down the straight. Evil will have DRS, he may click it on now. Obviously it doesn't look like he's doing it coming down here. You're looking at this 150 bar, just before that little grass on the left hand side, you saw that little thing breaking down, really tight hairpin. You want to keep tight and obviously come, back across to the right to give yourself an open angle into this late apex left-hander. Try and stay away from the curb because you'll bottom it out. Yes, hug this left-hand corner, around to basically open your line up so you can get on the power as early as possible. Carry as much speed down this straight. You can be a bit cheeky and have a move down into this climber. There is a bit of camber, so you can run in there a bit hot. Same with this one, but you want to be focusing on, getting a good apex and a good exit out there. Down into this hairpin, you can run in a bit hot. It is a heavily cambered corner, so you can usually apex early, run it wide mid corner and get a late apex out. And you saw the rider just got up on the curb, just lost all traction. Through the Schumacher S, pretty simple in these cars. You're not fighting with anything. Up here over to the right, usually looking just at this edge of this grass again. Really, really crucial corners because it leads onto a back straight, so you want to get on as power as early as possible, carrying as much momentum, not going out too wide. Through this left-hand kink now, you're thinking into this chicane. It's a real bugger, really slow apex corner. You're thinking, do I brake late? Do I brake? No, you're chicking out. You'll be really aggressive on this first curb, which obviously you'll be in the middle of the chicane. Don't be too aggressive on the exit chicane, the exit right-hander. This corner, just hugging the apex around the outside, and that's a semi-talked lap of Nürburgring.
Awesome, that's great. Thanks very much, Speed. Yeah, good. We saw, actually, as we was watching Evil there on board with him, we could hear the DRS opening with that sort of sound effects as the Evil just takes Rigel there, I think, coming into the Mercedes arena. Now, this is quite an interesting part of the track, this, because a lot of people think it's a 90 left down there, and it's not. It's actually it's almost a full sort of 180 back onto itself, so that catches a lot of people out. These two are running away, aren't they? And that is a good segue, actually, Speed, to announce that there will be a reformat of the mini league. Details to follow. I'm not going to release too much here, but let's just say that there is going to be a reformat of the mini league to try and not mix it up. That's the wrong thing to say, but certainly reduce the gaps of the much quicker guys to the much slower guys, which enables the quicker guys to focus on racecraft as much as the slower guys being amongst the traffic a bit more, in order that actually people can use this time to focus on racecraft, rather than, as we see John Rigel, extremely talented, very quick, chief track master. Right now, believe it or not, this is not doing Rigel any good, not having the challenge in front, although of course he is utilising this opportunity to drive defensively with Evil, which is a great thing, and doing a good job. But Evil just gets in the NGK chicane. It was a great move.
Buffalo girl, I'm coming round your outside, and I'm just going.
Yeah. So, okay, so there we go. Evil has taken first place from Rigel. 2 minutes and 17 seconds left of the first race. Let's use this opportunity, as we do always with the first race, to give everybody some scream time. So second place, Rigel, we've seen that chasing Evil now as they're just going into the Mercedes arena. Third place, Thomas Pinto, our guest from Cookie Monster Motorsport. Thomas mentioned something interesting to me today about the recordings, and that's a really, really good point, because a lot of these guys are recording their point of view as they're racing, and of course they put that on their own YouTube channels, and lots of our members do that. In fact, almost all of them do, and I always like to go along and watch their point of view for certain parts of the races. So if you're watching somebody, or you're championing somebody or whatever, and you're wondering what their point of view is, then come onto our Discord, find out where their YouTube channel is, go along and have a look. Well done, Thomas, in third place. Fourth place, Audi, the sponsor, our owner of the mini league, who has done for many years, and as I said, any information regarding the reformat of the mini league, the good and benefit of the RWB members first, of course, and of course to the community in general, and we'll release that on Discord, and then we'll tell you about that next week. Fourth place, Rick Binnersley. Always good to see Rick out there. I noticed Rick was racing with a couple of other, I think he was with RLM actually, and was doing very well on a stream that I was watching there. Good to see Rick out there. FX, our own wizard, in 5th place in the black and white Audi. Ben, who I mentioned earlier on, who's really bringing the game to Rigel and to Rodders on the Formula One League. Really looking forward to seeing how he performs on Saturday. Speed, he's very impressive, isn't he?
Yeah, he's obviously new to us, and he's doing very well in, like we said, in the first race, the opening race at the weekend in that Formula X League. And yeah, I look forward to many Raw races to come. Looks like he's going to be a long timer, racing with us.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to see more of Ben, most certainly. Looking at orange, Audi, blue, Ben Davis, bless him. This guy here, look how smooth he is. Super smooth, isn't he? He's on a controller. He's doing that with thumbs. Unbelievable. That is alien territory in my view straight away. Then we've got Isaacs. Good to see Isaacs again. Isaacs is a good example. Isaacs, great rally driver. Loved rallying with him on our Dirt Rally 2 leagues. We've got 2 of them. If you want to do a bit of rallying, come along. Really good on there, Isaacs. I think I'm better. Moving on. Cos, I'm not. Cos in a nice position there, 10th. The ever wise Cos, clean and reliable, 10th place. Jammer, good to see Jammer. Now Jammer is somebody I want to commentate with when I push you out the box to get you out there racing. He's got a great voice for this sort of thing, and yeah, look forward to listening to hearing from Jammer undoubtedly. TK, now I don't think I've come across. Oh yes, of course I have. TK421. Yeah, absolutely good to see him out there again. Fergie, who loves his open wheelers. Love to see Fergie out there in that Red Bull. Stefano Marazzi, I think he's Italian.
Yeah, I think he's Italian with a name like that.
Yeah, absolutely. From Ballas Racing Team. Good to see you, Stefano. Welcome. Dave Crew currently in 15th. Always good to see Dave. Pinpoint, of course, with his new direct drive Podium XL Super. When I turned it on, it smashes my table in half, and I haven't got enough screens. Pinpoint. Good to see you, Pinners. Alex Robinson, who seems to be a guest, perhaps a lone wolf. Come back, Alex. Don't race alone. Race RWB. Forgotten Company. Always good to see Forgotten from Belgium. And running currently 19th and retired in the pits there is Aaron Staley, or Staley. Forgive me if I pronounced that wrong. So welcome to everybody to the mini league on Thursday night, and that pretty much concludes the first race. Didn't see much racing, but we always utilise the first race really as a general introduction, a revisit to our ethics on a Thursday night, and of course introduce everybody out there. That's why we're doing this. Pinpoint then coming around Coca-Cola curve to go over the line and finish in 16th position. Great. Where are we next, Speed? Do you know?
I don't, mate.
I do.
Don't have a clue.
I do. We're going from one of the greatest tracks in Germany, the Nürburgring, to undoubtedly the greatest track in the United Kingdom. We're going to Silverstone.
Cadwell Park.
No, we're not going to Cadwell Park. We're not going to Mallory Park. We're not going to Thruxton. We're going to Silverstone. Silverstone. You know, it is almost like your local politician. You don't really want to admit openly that you like him or her, even if you do. And Silverstone can be a bit like that for some people. It is, whether you like it or not, the jewel in the crown of British motor racing. But it's not necessarily the most popular track. You know, Brands Hatch, Castle Donington, Cadwell Park, Mallory Park, Thruxton. The United Kingdom is full of racing tracks as a result of, World War II, to be frank. And during World War II, RAF bases cropped up, everywhere, especially through the central hub and the central spine of the United Kingdom, because it was harder for the Germans to bomb. And
just when you said it then.
Germans to bum.
There is where you said the Germans.
The Germans to bomb. They don't mind. They don't mind. So it was harder for them to bomb. So for the central spine, a lot of RAF bases cropped up, and they didn't take 5 years in them days to build an RAF base. They took 6 weeks. 6 weeks, and you'd have a full flowing RAF base. But RAF Silverstone, 1943. This was the home of the Wellington bomber and the night bombing tactics training, and it first saw its informal race in 1947 after World War II, and throughout the Cold War, and is evolved in many different sort of variants I say many different variants, not that many actually, but it pretty much is how it is now. 3.6 miles, this is the GP circuit, 5.8 Ks, 18 corners. It is one of the very few circuits in the world that has equal right to equal amount of left corners. It's got one chicane, one offset parabolic, one S's section, which we call maggots, and fairly fast straights and sweeping corners. It's got 7 named locations, and also one of the very few circuits in the world that's actually owned by racing drivers for racing drivers of the past, the present, and the future. The current president being David Coulthard. So Silverstone, and anything to add to that, Speed, before we jump in and you give us a run round?
Yeah, I think going back to what you said earlier about the people not like it, I think that would happen, when they did the massive update, and obviously built the new start finish straight, that entire new section. I think a lot of people really love the old layout, where you come through club, you go left, where you
Past,
go now,
before Abbey.
go under the bridge, up through that section. I think it did lose a bit of character, but I think obviously over the years it's regained that character back with the current layout. I think it's taken a while for it to grow on people.
Yeah, I agree. Great. So, all right. Well, you know what? I'm going to pick someone out now. Let's ride. You know what? Let's ride around with Fergie. So we're in cockpit with Fergie. So would you mind taking us around?
Not with Fergie, still with John Hayes.
Oh yeah. Okay. Has mine crashed or your crashed?
I think you have. That's the streams with. I think it's all crashed. It's not seeming to change even for anyone.
Oh, hang on. Wait a minute. Let's redo a couple of technical hitches here, folks. Let's we'll redo our stream. We'll redo our race director, see what's going on.
I think our race director has gone to sleep.
So currently running with Audi, yeah?
Yep, it's finally woke up.
Good. I've just redone mine. So we're actually streaming tonight we're using Restream tonight, gents, to Twitch and to YouTube. So that's probably why that's happening. But there you go. I mean, this is only an experiment. Anyway, so let's now join Fergie. So we're riding with Fergie, and yeah, do you want to take it from here?
Yeah, going round towards the last couple of corners on this GP layout using the new start finish, coming into the last chicane. It's just one of them, you get through it. Usually sacrifice a bit in the first one to obviously get a good run after this second corner, last corner, through this last king. Now you're on to the start and finish straight. Not really the biggest start and finish straight in the world, but it's got probably one of the fastest first corners where you just literally flat out, chuck it in and try not to run wide. It does get a bit more technical when you're in, cars with less grip, but something with this amount of grip, you're not really struggling. This is a really tricky part of the track. This is probably the slowest speed on the corner. quite hard, trying to see with the apex. Going out onto the, I want to say the Wellington Straight.
It is.
Onto the Wellington Straight as Fergie has a mishap there. Seems like he missed the gear. Breaking down into this section of track, you want to get a late apex. Go straight across to the right and just hug that curb. Don't come off it. Pretend it's a hooker. Just stay on it. Stay in it. And then literally just power through it. Yeah, stay around here. Just keep it flat. Excellent bit of track to watch the MotoGP from. If anyone watched Silverstone at the weekend, congrats to Rins. That was a cracking race and through the old turn one. Just usually just to lift a downshift in downforce cars through Maggie's, Becky's, and Chapel section. He's just literally just hunting for them curves. Really fast part of the track. You kind of want to be like lazy with your inputs here because you go in so fast that if you really jerk the car in, you really upset it.
Yeah.
Now down the hanger straight into Stowe, can be tricky with DRS because you usually brake in after you've turned in. So you probably want to manually close your DRS if you get it. Now into the last chicane, like I said earlier, you just want to get through this first part. Obviously focusing about your exit now, as I can't see who that was at its evil. Just had a little mistake there by the looks of it in front of Fergie, and that was a bad commentator lap of Silverstone.
Cool. Thank you very much, Speed. Yeah, and well, there you go. I mean, most people know Silverstone, but yeah, fantastic track, no question about that. And can be quite technical, particularly into cops, which was the sort of the back straight there. That can catch people out by turning too early there. But yeah, good. All right. Well, looking forward to this next race. Now my race director has gone mad again. Let's reload and start again.
It seemed that the system that we do the streaming from, gents, seemed to have crashed. So that was what was the game crashed on the.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's gonna.
Cool. Well, while we're doing that technical jiggery pokery in the background there, with 23 seconds left of qualifying. So who qualified? Walt Rigel, Trackmaster. John Hagee qualified first place in 1:54.686, with Isaacs in 1:55.165. Great lap time. Rick Binnersley in third with a 1:55.594, and that goes down to the last person who qualified, which was Forgotten Company, with a 2 minutes and 6.233. I think that was just a clean out lap, or a clean second out lap perhaps. But these cars are not point and squirt. They can catch you out. I don't think they've got traction control as default, have they?
No, they don't run any assists.
No.
It's pretty much a prototype, F1 car thing. It's like I said, it runs a carbon monocoque chassis, so they all run the same chassis. It's just a different bodywork attached to it, and a lot of it is down to like the engine performance and obviously aerodynamic upgrades and suspension tweaks that they do for the manufacturers.
Yeah.
But the base chassis is the same. It also runs the same chassis as in the Super GT, which is a Japanese equivalent series. They now class it as, I think it's called the Class 1 Regs. As we've just got the start of the race. I'll catch
Into
up
Abbey,
that conversation.
Yeah. Hey, you carry on, mate. We're with Rigel out in front as he just comes into the village and up to the loop. This loop can catch people out, can't it? Because people think it is a loop, but it's actually not, is it?
No, it's a really tricky.
There we go, and that's what happens. That's what happens.
Yep, well, we'll just get the ambulance ready for that one.
Yeah.
This is a really tricky.
I don't know. I shouldn't be laughing at him at all, and I'm not. But I think I commentated, cursed him there. the point about the loop is that people think that it is a 90 left or even a 4 hairpin. It's not. It's a very tricky corner to get right. There's almost two apexes on it. The second of which you create yourself to come in for Aintree. So we're now riding with Rodders. Rodders is currently running in first position. Where is he? He's coming into so he's coming into Maggots. This is Maggots, Beckett's, and then this part is Beckett's, and then coming into this final right-hander, which is Chapel, as Speed mentioned earlier on, and down the hanger straight. And the corner at the bottom here, Speed, I do it in advance, is Stowe. What advice can you give with regards to entering Stowe? It seems to catch a lot of people out. What are we looking for?
I think a lot of people tend to take like a normal racing, steady curve into it. Whereas I like to get to a point, turn in, so my car's and then just run diagonal to the apex,
right,
and do my braking in that. I'm effective then braking in a straight line.
Yes.
I'm not, but it can really upset the car sometimes. It's one of them that sometimes you'll just go with a gentle, turn in type thing, or you go with a diagonal, braking into it, depending on how aggressive you're being.
And what would you be looking for coming into Stowe? Would you be aiming for that post, the post on the corner? Is that signifying where the apex is, or the first apex for?
I usually use the curb on the outside. I pretty much use the same. When I get to that curb, that's when I start doing my turning, and obviously there's like a patch of AstroTurf like 3/4 of the way around, and that's where I want to be. I want to be near the curb at that point in track.
Yeah.
So it's a late apex, but I'm running I would say the first third of the tarmac. I'm not halfway across the track. I'm not late apexing. I'm not running as tight into it. So I'm running like maybe half a car's width off the the curb in apex type thing that most people go for, and then late apexing that way. It just seems I get a better run, through the corner. I carry a bit more, minimum speed.
Yeah, interesting. All right, well, thank you for that. Currently running with Isaacs, and looking on the back of Isaacs, you can see Stefano there in the blue Audi RS5. Stefano currently running in 5th place, who hasn't set a time yet. The only person there's only about 8 people that have set a time. Is that because the track limits are quite strict on here?
Yeah, I think it's just people are running wide. Obviously, I think we're on the second lap now, so it's not with it being such a long circuit. I think from what I heard the other day, is probably one of the longest circuits on pretty much most calendars nowadays.
Yeah,
it's obviously it's a greater lap. So you pretty much, if you bugger you lap up on the first corner, you've got another near enough to minute 40, minute 50 to get around, or you can start again. So a minute 54 on these cars, I think you're doing close to that. If you go to Spa or somewhere like that. So I think Spa's a lot more, higher average speed than what Silverstone is.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just looking at the timings there. Eve was just done a 1:54.8, and if we run with Forgotten Company now, is an outstanding racer there. Forgotten Company races with us quite a bit. He's pushing out at 2 minutes, so the guys really are feeling the difficulty of the DTM. It's not a difficult car to drive, but if you have a heavy right foot in this car, then you're going to be slower. It's just the way that it works out, because the car will be that much more unstable, to be frank, particularly on the slower corners.
Yeah, it's one of them that it's obviously deals with high speeds a lot better than low speeds. You just not got the grip there at low speeds, so you're getting on the power. Like you said, they're not a hard car to drive, but they're a hard car to master.
Yeah, hard car to control and master. Yeah.
Because it is one of them that you need to set the car up to be on the edge. and with the car being on the edge, you need to practice that driving style.
Yeah, that's right. Cool. All right, so let's have a rundown. So we've got Evil in first place, just under 154.567. We've got Rodders in second. What is Rodders now? Blah, 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 blah. Crikey, why my timings have all gone all wrong. So Rodders, 0.6 second behind him. Then we've got Isaacs in third place. Isaacs just put in a 155.274. Stefano in fourth place with a 155.4. Orange, our Ben Davis, our resident controller alien, in 154.3. I don't think anyone else we've got drives with the controller.
Not from my recollection. So,
Thomas, our guest. Go on, sorry.
I think we had it in the past, but with us being a club, I think we convert most people over to getting a wheel. We're quite good at finding deals and stuff, especially Charger. Charger's constantly finding deals and stuff, and obviously sim racing equipment is on a lot of the websites. Sees a deal go up, posts it up for the members, and usually gets snapped up within a couple of hours if someone's looking for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Also, I'm really quite peeved, I'm a bit deflated. Because I'd like to be out there. This is my favourite car. And I've spent hundreds of hours in this car around every single track.
I think we should send you out there like we did for me the other week.
We should do, shouldn't we?
Yeah, race 4. Get yourself in there. You have a race out there.
Where's race 4?
Ooh, I don't know. Where is it?
Neither do I. I don't know until just before.
Ooh, I do. You'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy it.
Right. We will do that. I will jump in. Yes, absolutely. I will jump in and I will have a go on race 4. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, that'll. Trouble is, you won the last one. You won the last one, didn't you?
It's like sex, mate. It's the taking part that counts. It's not part who comes first, who comes second.
You're absolutely right. Right, race 4. I'm going to be jumping in for race 4. So they better all watch out. I tell you, race 4, wherever it is, they all need to get their brave pills on. Okay, so we're riding with Dave Crew, currently in 5th position. They're on the last lap now. Fergie currently running in 11th. FX currently running in 12th position. Always a shout out for FX because he's such a wizard, and without him we just wouldn't be able to have half the things that we have in RWB. And I know he's helped out other clubs as well, particularly with overlays and themes and stuff like that. And that is the nature of the RWB member. We're not elitist, and we're very much all for helping other clubs, etc. Not to take it away from this guy though, who's just coming up to crossing the line. Rodders in 1st position. And Rodders is actually, one of, he as our leader is championing with Audi the sort of change of format with regards to, well, you'll see next Thursday, won't you? Which will hopefully reduce the gap from the much quicker guys to the less quicker. There's no one who's slow out there, I can tell you that. So I'm looking forward to seeing what we implement there. Plus, of course, I've now mentioned it, Rodders, so guess what? Get your arse in gear and make it work, please. Thank you. Rick Binnersley down at 14th. TK finished in 15th, or just crossing the line now, actually. 16th, Forgotten Company, and, of course, 17th, Pinpoint. Good.
Yeah, I'd advise you is get because obviously you're doing race 4 is get your wheel turned on now, because obviously you're gonna have to close the game down, go into Steam, take out the spectator launch command, restart the
crikey,
game.
yeah.
So
I'll have
as
to
soon
get
as
my
the
admin
race,
sorted, won't I?
as soon as the race finishes, you got to be quick on these. Quick on this. So what I did, the other week is I already started my wheel up. So obviously when I had to shut the game down and do the Steam launch command and sort that stuff out, it was already ready to go. Didn't have to turn my wheel on, wait for it to boot up, and get in there. It was literally get into the server and get out there in qualifying.
Oh, crikey, holy moly. Talk about pressure. Oh, well.
It's the pressure within pressures.
Oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear. What am I leading myself into? Right, anyway, so, yeah, sod it. Let's give it a go. It'll be interesting to see what happens there. Right, so we're on to race 3. Crikey, one more to go. We're on to race 3. Where are we? Well, I'll tell you where we are. We're in Monza. Monza over in Italy. The Autodromo Nazionale di Monza in the Royal Park in the city of Monza, 9 miles northeast of Milan. 3.6 miles. Let's run with somebody, or let's put it on auto director. Let's see what's going on there. As we see Dave Thomas. 3.6 miles, 5.7 k's, 10 corners around this, 7 right, 3 left, 2 chicanes, 1 extended chicane, and 1 offset parabolica, which of course actually is known as the parabolic curve at the end of the very quick back straight there. Now this is a fast circuit. Now some people say it's quite boring, but the fact of the matter is this is a great track. Is it not, Speed, to gain confidence with the car, its handling, and so forth.
I want to agree with you, but this track I tend to struggle with. I don't know what it is with this track.
Well, you're not the only one.
Tracks I always tend to struggle with. And
yeah, you're not the only one. It's actually nicknamed as the Cathedral of Speed. And in actual fact, we're just watching Thomas Pinto. I'll take it off of I'll put it into this corner he's going around there, the parabolic curve. Actually, when was it? 1961. Jim Clark's Lotus. I wonder whether we can. Oh crikey! Oh, we're coming on to qualifying, aren't we? Let's ride with somebody. Let's ride with Ben Davis. Let's ride with Ben Davis. And coming into the parabolic curve, Jim Clark tangled his Lotus with a Wolfgang von Tripp. Beautiful name that. Tangled it with his Ferrari at the parabolic curve, and that sent the Ferrari into the air. Roll across the spectator zone, killed 15 people outright, including von Tripp, who was driving. And that was the start of the end of what was then called the Banked Monza. It was the Italian Brooklands, when those days were cars and downforce was, relatively a new sort of concept, certainly coming out the 40s and 50s. And so the corners were all banked in order to be able to get the cars around these corners. So, the long sections of Monza are interspersed with these chicanes. To slow the cars down, because otherwise they just go way too fast.
It's still a quick circuit. I don't know what it is with the reason I struggle with it. Because usually the fast circuits is where I usually shine. But
yeah.
It's just one of them that never clicked with it. And it's particularly one of with tracks that you don't click with. You don't tend to race them. You tend to stay away from them. But you should be practicing them more to get better at them. So I have got better over the past few years with it. Because there was a point where I would just refuse to race on the track because I'd always end up in the wall or crashing or having a huge accident.
Well, take us around, Speed, if you would.
Yeah, so you're coming into turn 1, probably the fastest. You're probably at the max velocity of your speed here. You're probably braking around about the 150 board, the 100 board, depending on how good your brakes are. This car is very good. That's first gear, clip that curb. Try not to clip that big sausage curb on the inside because it will really upset the car. Coming out of here, it's just a smooth, turn to the right. You're not going to gain anything. You're probably going to lose speed if you try something special. Going into the first chicane, the second chicane, sorry, brake just after this bridge, down to probably second gear. You want to clip that curb on the left and not clip the curb on the right. Obviously, you can sacrifice a bit on the the entry curb because it's all about your drive out. Coming into Lesmo 1, really nice bit of track, really banked, so you can chuck it in there. Same with this Lesmo 2, bank it into that. Coming down the straight towards Ascari, it's just another one of them that you can lose time if you try and swerve and weave and try to defend or attack someone. Just one of them, you just sacrifice it, sit in the draft, braking for Ascari now. One of them that you can cut, you can really take a chunk of the curb on that side, try not to get the curb on that on the right, cut the curb on the left coming out, and out to Ascari down this straight again. This is what Monza is, it's just a couple of corners and then you got big long straights into parabolic now, probably 50 board down to third gear. I tend to keep it tight coming out. It seems to favour me, but a lot of people just tend to carry that extra mid corner speed, and run wide. And that's a lap of Monza.
Thanks, Speed. Yeah, there you go. Now earlier on I said 8 named corners. So this first corner, this is the okay. So yeah, that's the Prima Variante, which is the primary chicane. Then this right-hander here is the Curva Buesano, the Buesano corner. And then there's a bit of a chicane up here, like Speed mentioned. That's the second Variante, or the second chicane. Always catches people out on the exit there. And then you've got then 2 corners called Lesmos, right-handers. First curve, right-hander, and the second curve, right-hander, and that's literally their name in Italian.
Lesmo 1 and Lesmo 2.
Lesmo 1 and Lesmo 2, that's right. Yeah, and actually you, on some sims like Assetto Corsa basically, you can rerun, can't you, the old historic Monza track and, try a modern car around them banked corners. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, obviously when we was running PCAR2 with the Mini League, that's Project Cars 2 for you people that have been after the sim world. We ran a lot of the historic tracks, so you had historic Silverstone, historic Brands, no not Brands, historic Silverstone and Hockenheim and obviously Monza, where you did the oval circuit, and we did them in Group C cars, and it's an absolute ball because the Group C cars get up to something like 250 mile an hour, and you literally just sat there drafting each other through the race, and it's an absolute hoot to have fun. And obviously we raced them in the old vintage 66 and earlier cars on the cars too, and it was just so much fun. And obviously safety reasons, you get this Monza layout today.
Awesome. So they're at the end of qualifying now. First place is Orange with 1:44.896. I believe that was Rodders in second place. We'll just confirm that. We've got 54 seconds for them to get on the track. Let's remind ourselves, 1 car, 5 track. The whole point is to get people together, get out there, have some fun, open the doors to other members from other clubs, come along and try your hand. And for lone wolves out there, well, you know what we say, don't race alone, race RWP. There's nothing worse than just lone wolfing it and server hopping. Ultimately, you need to find a home that enables you to do that, and well, our doors are open. Come along, race with us. So 23 seconds to go at the garage, and I'm more nervous than normal because this is the last race, Speed, and then I'm gonna make myself look like an arse by probably coming last.
It's the taking part that counts, mate.
It's not a taking part. It's not a taking part. It's not when you're the cock, when you're the chief of commentary, and they're away.
I can hear
Sorry
the
about
driver
that.
excuses coming out already now.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can hear.
What a great sight that is. As they're 3 and 4 wide coming into the first corner. That primary chicane. A lot of people don't realise with the chicanes, it's the exit you want to plan for, not the entry. But as they come out the primary chicane through the Boissano curve, quite fast up here to the second chicane. And looking on the back of Orange there, crikey, you wouldn't want to. You don't really want that man behind you in anywhere, whether that's a shower room or on a track. I don't think he'll thank me too much for saying that, but the point is, you don't really want him behind you. But it's always good and really good and exciting for anybody out there, and when you've got people like, actually, to be fair, Orange behind you, or Rodders behind you, Rigel behind you, Evil behind you, whenever you've got any of these guys behind you, because they're just so very good and apply the pressure so very well. Behind Rodders, we can see John Rigel there, John Haig, our chief track master, just gone through that chicane there. And behind him, we got Stefano Marazzi, in 4th place, and he's almost he's almost running a sort of separate group there, isn't he?
Yeah, it seems like we've got a breakaway of 4 cars at the front. And obviously, a bit of gap back to Fergie. Obviously, Fergie's should really like these cars because they're high downforce.
Yes.
They're not usually the tin tops that he doesn't like. He likes his open wheel downforce F1 cars, and these are very similar driving style to these. You're hard on the brake pedal in the initial braking zone, and slowly bleeding it off as you get to the apex. There's trail braking a lot into the apex, and obviously being very progressive with the throttle application on the way out, not just stamping on the power and letting the traction deal with it.
Yeah, you've got to find that happy medium, because this car will just spin you around. We just heard Charger there just activating his DRS, and you can see the effect that's happening. Is he's really closing up on Fergie, isn't he?
Yeah, but I think a lot of the problems that the guys are running into tonight with the default set on is the gearing. These set rather what's the word?
Sure.
Safe, should I say?
Oh, right.
Obviously,
Okay, yeah.
it'll work for most tracks, and obviously, a lot of the tracks now have been highly downforce. So you're probably here towards the end of, maybe if we stick with Charger, then he gets the DRS into down the main straight into turn
He's
1.
on DRS now.
Yeah, you can hear he's on the rev limiter now, and obviously, it would be awesome to run a default league that we tend to do in these cars. But I think one of them that you just need to use the next gearing up, and that'll be a spot on league in them, because then you'll be able to use the DRS. There's now at the minute is that he's hitting 260, which is not much quicker than the guy in front of him, because he's sat on the the limiter for 2-3 seconds behind him. Yeah. And obviously you can still hit the top speed, you can still hit the limiter without using DRS in these cars. So I think it's just, if they could just give us the next gearing on the default setup, it would be a great default league. As you can see, Fergie's hit the same problem. He's obviously hit that DRS, DRS top speed of these
cars. There's no more oomph in the car.
No.
Oh, that's a shame. He's just hit someone there. I think that was who was that? He's just hit there. I think that was
Orange.
I don't know. Orange, yeah, it was Orange. What a shame. And that's another very good segue to remind ourselves that race clean, race fair, race for position, respect other people, and enjoy yourself. As we just see there, I think Thomas Pinto goes smashing into the wall at the back there. But racing clean means staying on the grey stuff. And in a short race of 8 minutes, if you come off the track, it's very unlikely that you're going to be able to climb through the field to a respectable position. Although the last time I said that, Rodders ended up finishing, I think it was 7th from last. So not sure where Orange is now. He's currently 8th at the minute, but of course, as we saw earlier on, he was leading.
Yeah, it's one of them. If you do it early enough in the race, it's open.
Awesome, great. What sort of time frame would you expect me to bugger off and sort my admin out to get into a break? Oi! I think that was Fergie Was that Fergie then who hit somebody?
It's all up to you, mate. If you want to go and start doing your admin in now, it's more than welcome to. If you want to, if you feel that
Oh, dear.
you'll
Well, I'm enjoying the racing too much, to be honest with you, but I know that I'll leave my own admin to the lastminute.com and have no time to sort anything out. What, you know what? Let's not take it away from these boys. Let's leave it into the last into the last minute. This group of three here, been watching these on the timings. Dave Crew looking at Pinpoint and Fergie. Pinpoint just nipping in front there to take 7th place, and just holds him up coming through that first chicane. Be careful there. I think it's Isaacs. Let's see. No, not Isaacs. Not too. Things are moving around far too quick tonight. Yeah, this car will bite you if you floor it hitting any of the curbs or anything else. No question about that.
It's a shame we can't get a nice low down to the track so we can see underneath the car. And what you'll see is you'll have like a 2-inch gap down the middle. Well, not a gap, but either side of the middle of the car. And what the structure in the middle is a plank. And obviously that stops them running the car. Great view there. As you can see that bulge in the middle. Yep. That's to stop them running the car as low as possible. But it's basically restricting the amount of downforce they can generate from underneath the car.
Yeah.
And that's the very thing that is like when I was saying avoid the curbs. You can go literally, like I say, quarter up to that point over the curb, but once you start getting that plank and that middle section,
you're going to bottom out, aren't you?
You're going to bottom out and lose all your drive and lose steering. As that was a bit of a get out of the way move there. Don't know who that was.
A bit naughty. I think that was Luca.
But you can drop a wheel off the curb, but as long as you don't go too far over, you're safe, and that's really key in these. Cutting, as much curb as you can before you hit that plank. Because if you hit that plank on the curb, you just say you got sky high. I know we did a one-off event round. What's the track? Sorry, I've got someone knocking at me now.
There's someone knocking on Speed's door, and I've just left the stream to sort my own admin out. So apologies about that. I can't give you a talk down of the end of the race. Well, I can actually. I'm not sure if they're still on the last lap. I think by the look of the timing they are. Yeah, okay, cool. So, what have we got there? We've got Rodders in first place, we've got John Haig in second, and Stefano Marazzi in third. Still running. Let's put that on auto director. Are you alright to take over now?
Yeah, I'm perfectly fine. Just had someone knock at my door, shove them away, get back up in.
Now, do I stay in here? Dare I stay in here?
I don't know, it's up to you. I'm leaving it all with you, mate. It's one of them.
Right. Well, I've now started up my system, so I'll hand over the mainstream to you.
Let's show Tiger how this mainstreaming business goes. That was a cracking race from Rodders, Rigel and Stefano, Evil and Fergie. I didn't catch the last little bit of battling, but I expected it to be excellent. Good, second win in a row for Rodders. Very impressive lap time. 44.4, which was the quickest lap out there to Rigel's 45.8. And I think they're coming around now. The last couple of people are on board with Forgotten Company now. We've got TK and Alex Robson to go. And Tigers will be the nerves will be tangling.
The nerves are tangling indeed.
His brown eye will be twitching, and it's a big daunting. I know it was daunting for me last week. A few weeks back when I jumped in to do a race. So yeah, it'll be good to see.
Well, I'm at the server list now. It's counting down 2 minutes. I don't know when that will. I suppose that will change automatically, will it, when it goes on to the next one?
Yeah. Literally just had the last guy across the start finish line now. We're in the results screen at the minute, so any minute now it should transition and open up for you.
Great. Well, the next track I've got here says Imola. Imola, actually, the Autodromo Enzo Edino Ferrari since 1970, named after the son Enzo Ferrari, who sadly died in 1956 of leukemia. It is it not, the city of Imola?
Yep.
3.5 miles, 4.9k, 18 corners, 7 right, 11 left. Quite a few of those are acute corners, though, as in a few of them are acute. Yeah, so 1 chicane, 2 extended chicanes, 1 extended parabolic, 8 name locations. This is a very famous track in lots of different series calendars, and has hosted everything from F1 to FIA trucks to Le Mans Cup to blank pack, you name it. It's one of the most infamous and well-known tracks in the entire world.
The service should be open for you now. The service should be open.
Great. The server should be open. Box, and stay in. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, I think you're going to really enjoy this because Imola is a track. Ooh, what happened there? Action lost.
Yeah, and it's not kicking over.
What's happened here?
Oh, it's got 1 minute 12 left of practicing.
Connection lost. I think we may be having technical issues on the server.
I think there may be, yeah. I can't speak for the show. I'm just logging into the server now. It says there's no response from the server, so it could well mean that the server is closed or crashed. What do you think?
I don't know if his Rodders disappeared, because obviously that's where a server. If Rodders has disappeared, it could be a server issue on his side, but it looks to be in Discord still, so it could not be that. But it looks like the restarting server. It's not just a commentator's thing. It's a service.
Commentator curse.
Yeah, it's a server side thing. So obviously it's kicked everyone out. So we'll just We'll do some fillering in whilst we do it.
We could sing a song.
Oh, Kumbaya.
We could sing. We could sing Kumbaya if you want.
I don't know the words.
I'm trying to log in. Oh, it looks like I'm in. So I don't know whether the stream's still up or whether the thing's still up. But this is the 4th race. Of course, you'll be doing the Joker scores later on, won't you? And we'll pull down racer of the event. No one's sprung to mind yet, Speed. So look closely on this one. Not at me either.
I don't know. So I'm just doing a bit of admin on my side for the results for the end.
All right. Well, I'm in the server, so not the car I chose though. I don't know what's going on there.
Looks like one of the racing got corrupt.
Oh, I think I was kicked out. Cool. Well, I'm coming back in. Well, I'm not sure what's going on there. I think there's something to do with the restream has messed things up. All right, let's see.
It's not restream. Restream doesn't have anything to do with the server.
Alright, I'm in.
I think we're all back up and running now, guys. So I think Tiger's left me, or is he still in?
No, I'm still here, but my 3 screens are now 1 for some reason, and everything's all out of kilter.
Yeah, we've got I think we had a 5-minute practice to allow people to join back in.
Oh, this is terrible, I'm afraid. Oh dear, how long have I got left? I don't think I've got long enough left to do 3 screens. Oh well, we'll give it a go. The field of view's all out and everything.
Just taking part that counts, mate. A minute, well, with 40 seconds left in practice. Looks like Tiger's struggling a bit.
Yeah, I am actually struggling a lot. So I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll do this and I'll just stay at the back and just do it like that. That's what we'll do. Yeah, that's what happens, isn't it? When you I didn't really have time to sort it. Oh well, bad admin. Blaming the tools, but fact of the matter is that I have 3 screens or VR normally, and for some strange reason, it's gone onto 1 screen. But I think that's because I use 1 screen to for the broadcast, perhaps. But there you go. Anyway, cool. So I think there was a problem with the server because people are still loading into the server speed.
Yeah, I think the server crashed.
Ah.
So I think it kicked everyone out.
Oh, that's a shame. Anyway, so currently I'm seeing Timo in 2nd, FX in 3rd, Rick Binnersley 4th, Charger 5th, or Charger down to 6th now.
Yeah, as you can see, the checker flag's gone out for practice, which usually transitions it straight on. But as there's people still connecting to the server, it's going to wait until everyone connects before it transitions to qualifying.
Oh. Oh, I think, am I still in? I think I got, no, I'm still in. I think I got booted then. What a disaster. Oh well, you know, the show must go on, simple as that.
Transition to qualifying now.
I've just been kicked. Okay, well, let's get back in. Come on, come on. Crikey. Come on. Yes.
Got plenty of time. We've got plenty of time.
I think that's it. Yep, it's loading again. Great. I'm not quite sure what happened there at Speed. I think there was some server issues or people joining or whatever. Okay, so anyway, I can't. Of course, I can't do anything anywhere near as good as you are. You are my talented friend, but it is a car I know, so we'll give it.
Yeah, there's 21 people out there. Let's go on board with Tiger. Let's see what the Tiger's up to. Here we go. Give you a nice view of his cockpit. He's in the Nico Muller number 51 Audi Abbott Sportline RS5. Exiting the pits now. Pit limiter off. Checks the left-hand mirror. Checks the rear view mirror. Plenty of clean track. Pulls that. I'm no Murray Walker.
Yeah, that was just you're awake.
Yep, I'm awake now. Spilled my coffee all over as well. So as you can see, it's just been a bit tentative on these first couple of corners. Get used to the weight of the steering wheel. Brakes, pedals. He's been sat in the commentary box that long. He's forgot how to drive sometimes.
Christ, I know.
Because we don't let him out. We literally, after the race finishes, we lock him away. He's not allowed out until the following event. So he's been sat in this commentary box since Saturday, not done anything. He's just been sat there. We cooked him a drink of water every now and again, and a few crisps to keep him fed and watered. Changed his bucket every now and again. So this is like a day out for him. He's tried to stay away from them dangerous sausage curbs. He's got 2 minutes 50 to get a lap time in. No one's set a lap time at the minute, so you're safe. Currently in 20th position.
Oh, well, I tell you, honestly.
He missed his braking point there by a country mile. Had to repay his ticket fee to get back in. Be glad to know.
Very bad demonstration, I'm afraid, folks. Like I said, I'm going to blame the tools, my field of view's all out and all sorts, but there
you won't be ashamed because Rodders will be starting towards the back with you as well. He's pulled into the pits. A bit quiet at the minute. We'll let Tiger concentrate on this lap. So he exits the last corner now. Let's see where this places him. The guys are done like 139s.
It won't, and I'll tell you why it won't. Because I screwed it up on the first out lap, so it doesn't count the second one. I don't think I've got enough time.
Oh, it's a shame, but it's not too bad. You're going to have Taz starting behind you, Rodders in front. Oh no, Taz just jumped ahead of you, but you'll be starting last. You got Rodders and Fergie around you. Taz, Orange, Locker, Grey, Forgotten Company. Evil did a 1:38.3 just for comparison to Tiger's lap time there.
It's a very, very poor show. We will do this. I will revisit this again when my tools are working correctly. And like I said, for now, I'll just get it around.
Are you sure you're not a tradesman? Blaming all your tools?
No, I'm not. I genuinely not, and that's not a forced laugh either. That's just a thought. Well, yeah, let's give it a go. I can do the same as speed. Yeah, 3 screens you have it set on, not 1. You fool. Yeah, and I've got what have I got? 30 seconds left. Yeah, up against us tonight. There we go. Never mind. But we'll give it a go nonetheless.
So here we go. 5 green lights. Tensions building. Tiger's sat there fidgeting, and away we go. Away we go. Oh, bad start at the back. Oh, we've got 3-4 cars into each other. It looks like someone failed to start there. Tiger's away now. He's just behind Forgotten Company. Let's go and have a look up front. Let's go on board with Audi. Audi's got John Haig right up his shitbox, and he's got Thomas Pinto in front of him, a good second up the road. Wants to be closing that so he can get DRS on Thomas from the next lap. A good start from Evil. Looks like an excellent start from Rodders. He's up, 6-7 places from starting at the back. Obviously TK's had a good start. Colton's had a good start. Benjamin is a good start. We've got a good 6-7 cars battling behind this. You've got TK down to FX. They're all within second to half 10th of each other. So that's a good close battle going on tonight. Obviously the Joker will be getting pulled in the next race around about this time in the last race, which I can't remember what track it is, so should be a good one as the timing screen's deciding to go Pete Tong at me at the minute. Obviously Audi and Rigel swap places now with Rick Bennesley not that far behind them. Just going back with our Tiger colleague here. Obviously done a mistake somewhere and has dropped behind Charger and Company, and Isaac's retired from the race, so I don't know what possibly happened to him. Cos looks to be just being overtaken by Rodders going into turn 1. Taz and Fergie have had a swap positions. Taz has looked to drop 2 spaces there to Fergie and FX. Looks like Audi's having another battle this time with Thomas, so obviously Thomas must have done a mistake somewhere because he was a second in front of Rigel as they crossed the line, so don't know what's happened there, maybe just ran wide a bit. So Luke Gray gets a slow down penalty at the top of the hill there. It's quite easily done. This is a forward battle. As who's that got? Oh, it's Audi. Oh, it's commentator curse. I'll get the fan balloons called. So we've got this is 5 car battles. 6-10 between Luca and Thomas, and another 6-10 back to Rick. 5-10s back to Dave. 9-10s back to Steffo, and half a second back to Audi. That's like a 5-6 car train.
18
all getting
speed.
DRS. Yep, and Tiger's made it up to 18, but he's only got 9 seconds to find to Taz as he does donuts in the chicane. He's having a good battle with Charger here. Maybe Charger will wait up for him, and give him a good battle.
Yeah, wait up, Charger. Crikey, holy moly.
We've got quite a good battle still from 4th to 8th place here. We've got Stefano in this middle pack. We're on the front bumper of Stefano. You can just see how low, as I've commentated to cursed him as well. We'll quickly switch from that. It's a good one for Rodders, obviously climbing up from the back of the field up to 7th already. It's got, a 3 second, nearly enough 4 second gap to find to Dave Crew, which can be easily done in the last couple of minutes of this race. So Evil's just having a nice lonely race out front. Set the fastest lap on the last lap, a 38.4, with Rigel doing a 38.6. So it's going to be a tall order for Rigel to close out 3 seconds, near a 4 seconds gap. In the last couple of laps, if they're only running, 2 tenths difference. As we just have Gabsy pop into the YouTube chat. Hi, Gabsy. It's good to see you tonight. You could possibly make it out there for the last race if you're really willing to. Because Tiger's now 2 seconds behind Charger. Because Charger just disappears completely. The timing screen's gone all. I think Charger jumping up the 10th, back down to 19th. So where is he? Oh, he's parked his car there. He wants to go and drive that fork truck. I can see it. Wanting to have a go, move some pallets around for people. We've got Benjamin and Loke. I don't know. I think that's how you pronounce it. And obviously, Cos having a good battle, for the twilight positions at the minute. Twitchy bum moment there for Benjamin. As we've got Rodders as close down to 2 seconds down to Rick Binnersley now. Possibly got 2 laps left. Seems to be a spin fest at the minute for people. Obviously, Charger's now retired. Isaac's retired. Cotton Company's 13 seconds behind Tiger. Tiger's 10 seconds behind Stefano. Stefano's 3.5 behind Dave Crew, who's Taz now. Taz has had another spin. As Taz drops down behind Stefano. That's another fastest lap for Evil on the last lap. 38 dead versus a 38.9 for Rigel, so he's extending his lead out front. So have a look with Ben Davis, right on the rear end of TK. Both, with Ben having DRS. Maybe he's going to save it for this is the last lap. So he's just got on the power, got on the DRS a bit too early out of that corner. It's caused him to spin, but now Rodders is right up the chuff of Rick Binnersley as he's coming up towards Tech Rouge, I think it is, or something like that. Top of the hill, double left-hander. As you can see him closing really heavily on the brakes, really confident versus Rick Binnersley on the brakes into that corner. So as Rick takes a defensive line into the chicane. A ball move to take someone in around the outside to the maybe Rodders has got some DRS and obviously saves it for the start finish line. Gets a good exit out of the last 2 corners. Gets a good drag, good slipstream and DRS pull down the straight. maybe gets him just before the line. On board with Evil, go back to Lucas Gray gets third, Thomas gets second, and Rick gets fourth, and Rick gets fifth, and Rodders gets sixth with TK. Is he going to take it, or is FX going to get it? Oh, that was a close one. I think TK got it from FX, from Fergie, from Audi, from Ben, from Cos, from Benjamin, Ben, Dave Crew, Loka, Stefano, Taz, and we'll go on board with Tiger as he's exiting the last corner. I think this is the quietest I've ever heard Tiger in a long time.
Outrageous.
So we'll get his
Outrageous. Well, I didn't come last. It was a lot of fun, and it just reminded me. It's been quite a while since I've done the mini league. That 6-minute qualifying, 8-minute races. By the time you probably get into the third or fourth race of the night, you've probably then got a good idea of the handling of the car. What I reminded myself on that race was, by the time that actually I got into it, it was the end of the race. And that's the beauty of the Thursday nights, is that it doesn't allow you to get into that routine of the handling and your performance in the car around the track. So that's what I took away from that. Did I come last? No. Does that matter? Not at all. Only takes 2 cars to race, although for some of it I was on my own.
Well, that was a good showing. Obviously, I know how difficult it is to jump in, within, 5-10 minutes of everyone else's. Obviously, they've had half an hour to an hour racing, and jumping in there, it's a bit difficult to do, especially with you running triples, and obviously you have to change the settings and stuff. But you did a good job. You show yourself well.
Well,
so now get back yourself into the commentary box.
You showed yourself well. You showed yourself right up. I would like to do that again some other time. Let me just get back into broadcasting mode. I would like to do that again some other time, but obviously not be under the sort of time pressure of the because I had my field of view at 1.3, so it was looking like I was going at 1,000 miles an hour, but actually I was only going at 10.
Well, you do that to trick yourself, don't you? To make sure you think you'll be going quicker than you are. We're at Sepang. It's another good track for these downforce cars. It's the Grand Prix circuit as well.
It is the Grand Prix circuit, 60k from Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia, adjacent to the Kuala Lumpur International Airport. Actually, that's rubbish, because it would take you 12 kilometres from the paddock to the actual airport, so it's not really adjacent, is it, if you ask me? But anyway, 3.4 miles, 5.5 k's, 15 corners, 9 right, 6 left, 1 hairpin, 1 offset parabolica. A reminder is that the in leg is shorter or more acute angle than the out leg. 2 long straights, 9 main locations, a technical track, but it's got 8 straights, and those straight speed, they range from 16 metres wide to 20 metres wide, designed on purpose to ensure that there's plenty of overtaking opportunities.
Yeah, I think is it double or even triple the width of most circuits that people go to nowadays. It's absolutely colossal amount of width in some parts of the track. It's a bank. You can get lost, just being on the track itself. It's that wide.
Yeah, sorry, I had trouble getting into the server. All right, so I'm in. Good. Remember, fellas, ladies and gents out there, this is RWB, not BBC or ITV or Channel 3. Sometimes things happen. Sometimes we swear, fuck, and sometimes we have technical problems, and those things are all part of bringing this to you. So don't be too hard on us, will you? Sepang, as I mentioned there, I gave you the stats on the track, etc. This was actually designed in 1995 by the same architect who designed the A1 ring speed, now the Red Bull ring. Opened in 1998, cost $12 million, took 1,000 people 2 years to build this track. And when it was built, it was hailed as the best circuit in the world at that time due to the first-class leading facilities. Just listen to this while we just watch, who are watching Evil there. Just listen to this. It's got 27 closed high-definition cameras to provide TV coverage around the world with a total of 543 miles of fibre optic cabling. It's got 30 pits, and when you say pit to me, I only live 3 miles from Castle Donington. I'm thinking of a garage. No, one pit is 60 square metres, and in that 60 square metres is garage facilities, kitchens, offices, conference rooms, and mechanical area as part of the garage systems. The track can have 130,000 spectators, and the unique double-fronted main grandstand is 30,000 people along there. And it was the first circuit on the international scene to be signed off by the World Health Organization as having a Class A operating theatre that can operate on 10 people at the same time and provide intensive care unit care for the possibility of anyone who needed it. That is quite remarkable. And yet in 2000, and let me just check my notes now, when was it? 2000? Yeah, in 2010 it was quoted as, it's a bit of an old house that needs a bit of redecorating by Bernie Eccleston. So since 2010, money dropped off and it just started to degrade really, which is why the last race was in 2017, won by Max Verstappen. So quite interesting when you look at Sepang, the intent of building it to become the best in the world. By 2010 it was falling apart. Did you know any of that, Speed?
Yes, and also it's one of the main reasons they resurfaced it in recent time was obviously they were losing their F1 contract, and it was more focusing on the bigger market in Malaysia of bikes. So they decided once they lost it, they would basically resurface it completely around the track at a huge expense, and slowly do mainly motorcycle racing, which is such a huge part of the Asian culture nowadays.
Yep, for sure. Cool. For some strange reason, I got kicked out of a spectator server. I don't know what's going on there. Let me see if I can come back. Cool. So this is the last race. Still coming in, so forgive me. I'm time filling. This is the last race of the evening. Who has stood out above all else, if at all possible, for racer of the event? Clearly, Evil has had some action up there. So has Orange. Orange has been quite impressive tonight.
It's one of them. It's a hard choice to make again. It's not something. It's not something that I'm just waffling. Just tell me to shut up because I've still not got an idea.
No,
I'm gonna go.
You're right, mate. And that's the whole point. Is that when it comes to choosing someone on a Thursday night, unless someone has stood out specifically well that would not normally be there, and by that I'm talking about in the sort of top quadrant, or someone whose racecraft has been particularly very good, it's always very difficult to pick someone else. You're not waffling, you're not time filling, you're saying what is so obvious to us but perhaps not so obvious to anyone else. So I think we'll make the call about 3 minutes into the last race. So if anyone wants to give a shout out as to who they think based upon the coverage we've given so far, then we'll pick someone out. I think for me right now it's probably between two people. First of all, Orange, because he's been a bit of a yo-yo of late, so I want to know what's changed that now all of a sudden he's challenging Rigel and Evil on the mini leagues. And actually our guest Thomas Pinto, who I was talking about earlier on, he's had quite a good race, and certainly finishing the top half the majority of times.
Well, I've done the Joker pause, so I'll let you know what it is when the race starts. So obviously we'll be. It's not a low number tonight for both of them, so it's going to be quite high up. People, people at the back of grids will be speaking to. Well, the person we'll be speaking to will be.
Now, is this track? I mean, we haven't got tyre wear on here, but is this track difficult on tyres due to the amount of corners and bends and the temperature in general? And is that simulated in race?
Yeah, it's hard on tyres, but it's hard to say how Race Room deals with tyres. A lot of the games tend to cheat and just do it on a time basis, how long your tyres are on, not how hard you're pushing them.
Yeah.
I think it's too advanced at the minute for stuff like that. I think some of the big sims have it. I think ACC does it now and iRacing. So it does take, basically take care of your tyres at the start. Will give you better tyres at the end.
Yeah.
But in this game, it doesn't really work. It tends to be that you just have to go as hard as you can on the tyres. Saving them doesn't seem to save them as much as it should do.
Great start there by everybody. 4 and 5 wide coming into the first corner at Sepang. The Pangal Lout chicane, which is very unusual. It's a parabolica into a chicane as we see him coming down the hill there, down towards the Langkawi, sounds like some sort of pasta, the Langkawi curve. I mean, Malaysia is hot, isn't it? It's hot and humid, 60 degrees. I checked it today, 60 degrees, 62 degrees. I mean, that's 140 odd degrees Fahrenheit. So I suppose in real life, this is a tyre shredder, this track. But as you say, it's always sort of slightly speculative as to how that's portrayed in a sim. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love it to be. Obviously, what is that? I watched some racing recently, and that's what they were saying is that you could see guys that were basically making use of the tyre early on, and you saw them drop back towards the end of the race versus someone that dropped down the pack at the start of the race and then came through at the end. But you don't really see that in sim racing because there's so many calculations, and you got to think all these physics calculations are going on in milliseconds, and the modern day hardware versus something going to a full simulating like a Red Bull sim and stuff like that, where they have the massive computing power to deal with it.
Yes.
So they have to simplify a lot of the calculations that they do, and I think tyres is one of the big ones that they simplify just to make it easy on the systems.
Oh, there's a bit of a pile up in the background there, and I'm not sure what happened to Rigel there. He almost seemed to sort of slow for some reason coming out of that. Eve, I'm talking about. He almost seemed to sort of slow coming onto that main straight, didn't he? Not sure what happened there, but
I think it was just
I get your point.
from that camera.
Yeah. Cool, so there goes Evil, currently in first place. Rigel in second place, following him up, 0.2 of a second. Why unusually am I not got my timing box is not right for some reason. Anyway, Jammer, good to see Jammer up there, isn't it, in third? Don't see enough of Jammer. We'd like to see more of him. He's a nice guy and a quick racer as well. So good to see him up there in third. Isaac's in fourth, chasing down Jammer. In actual fact, Jammer and FX there currently having their own battle as we're riding with FX, currently holding fourth. And Isaac's right behind him, on it like a bitch on heat. Waiting to pounce on FX, but be careful because Fergie is right behind you as well, and Fergie will happily go through and say goodbye to FX. And Isaacs, you're next, just coming into this corner here because you're too wide, and you won't have enough coming. Oh, just. Yeah.
I've got the Joker positions here. We've got 5 minutes, just under 5 minutes left.
Go for it, mate.
4 minutes. Yeah, so the position that's going to get the 30 points is 10th position tonight. So currently sat in 10th position at the minute is Audi in this race. So he may want to think about staying there and not going forward.
As he did
You get
last
30
week. I think he got it like 3 times, didn't he?
Yeah, so you get 30 points. But the joker for the com box is 16th. So it's quite a low number, quite close to the threshold number that we was inputted today of 19. That was an average of the amount of attendance we had in the races. So it's quite a high number.
Yeah.
So it could be a cause, a Taz or someone like that. Someone that's missed out on a few races tonight. That will be seen. So it'll be a good one.
Awesome. Forgotten Company up in 9th place. Right behind him is Rick Binnersley, just looking at the inside there. I think we go to a wider camera view. Just looking, just hanging out the back of old, hanging out the back of Audi there. Don't get too close because Audi likes to reach around. Anyway, so behind Rick Binnersley, as we see him sniffing at Audi, we've got Jammer. Jammer was 3rd just a minute ago, so obviously we missed something there. Thomas Pinto, our guest, running in 12th. Dave Crew running in 13th, and on the wing of Dave Crew is Cos, and Cos in a good place there, I think, speed 14th.
Yeah, I think that's been a pretty good position for him all night, and he's been around about that, that 14th to 18th position. So it's been a good showing from Cos. Obviously doing slight improvements in his driving at the minute.
Yeah. Okay, so 2 minutes left. Help me. Cos, there in 14th. Louis is a guest. Louis currently running in 15th. With TK in 16th. And then Ben unusually down in 17th in the orange Audi there. And then we've got Alex who's popped in, and Mark Bean as well. And I think Charger, Taz and Orange unusually have retired. So, Speed, who are we having as racer of the event? I think it would be, rather than racer of the event, driver of the event. And hard one. No one has jumped out, have they?
I'm interested to speak to Isaac. Get some dish on his dad. Obviously he's 12 seconds behind his dad at the minute. So we'll get some Isaac, some gossip from the son of the smug one.
Right.
Smug in the making. I think that'd be a good. Because obviously he's done quite well.
Yeah.
I think he was 3rd in the last one, and obviously did quite well in the first couple of races, and he's currently 3rd in this one.
All right. Well, let's do that then. Let's have Isaacs as our driver of the event. And I believe to be announced, but driver of the event on the reformat, which we'll be announcing next week, also gets some points. And I also believe that racer of the event with effect for the F1 League on Saturday. Please join us 21:30 Saturday. That will also be a. They will also be awarded points as well. Good, excellent. All right, so 22 seconds left of the race. Then there's our leader there, just crossed for the last lap, and right behind him is Eva.
We're going to get another lap in here.
Yeah. Get another lap out of these two.
Out of everyone. That was 5 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, no, yeah. Tempted if their gap was a bit more to slow and just pop over at the 0-0, but no, of course not. This guy will very happily just race around again. I feel sorry for him sometimes, him and Rodders out there not seeing the back of anybody, which is why they very much like to engage in this sort of reformat that Audi and Rodders are working on with regards to reducing this gap. Look, we are 8 minutes into a race, and who can you see behind Rigel apart from Evil? You can see nobody else. And notwithstanding the fact, as I said earlier on, one car, 5 tracks, you've got that difficulty of learning the car and the time frame that you've got limited of around the tracks if you don't know them, and that can make things difficult, of course. But if you do know the track and if you do know the car, then You want to be able to mix it up, and I'm afraid some of these guys were just born. They weren't fed milk; they were fed petrol.
So, are we at liberty to say what this new system's going to be based around?
I think it's going to be based around. It's an active system, so a passive system would be a time penalty to slow down the faster. But I think the active system will be based around ballast. But I'm not, I'm not at liberty to explain any further. Not because I don't want to, but because purely I don't know how that's going to work, or who those drivers would be, or whether they would volunteer. As we take nothing away from this guy, Rigel just won the 5th race with Evil coming in second.
Yeah, it's not the first time we've used ballast in leagues. We actually did a Formula 3 league back in AMS where we used a custom formula to work out a weight ballast based on your average lap time compared to everyone else's average lap time. And
That's a
then
good
you were given a
idea.
penalty. You were given a penalty on that, which was obviously changed for each race we did.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
So, and I still have the
Cool.
Google Doc hidden away in my many Google Docs on my account somewhere, so it could always be dragged out and brought to the forefront.
Well, anyway, we're coming towards the end of the race, and of course, the Joker position, I believe, was 10th. So hopefully, you'll be in a position to elaborate some more on that, on who has benefited from that. When I think it takes the last person across, I think, before you can do that. But we'll have a chat with the driver of the event tonight, and we'll close the stream. It's been a really enjoyable stream. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. We've had a few technical issues. Sorry about that. We're RWB, not BBC, ITV, or Channel 3. These things are going to happen. And of course, my appalling display of driver ability, which means that I will, after this stream, take myself outside and beat myself up with a hammer, which is the only right thing to do. I'll probably revisit
There's lashings, and you're getting a tin of white paint, 6 ton of coal, and you got to paint it all white with a toothbrush.
Absolutely, I will. Of course, I will. Excellent. So there we go. 1 car, 5 tracks. Where were we? Well, let's remind ourselves. We where did we start? We started at crikey. Of course, it was Nürburgring. We started at the Nürburgring in Germany. Then we zipped over to the jewel in the crown of British motor racing, Silverstone in Northamptonshire. Then we zipped over to Italy, Monza. Then, of course, I gave you that awesome display of how not to drive an RS5 on one screen with a field of view of 1.4. It was, guys, not 1.3. And that's also me blaming tools. And then 5th, we finish up at the was once wonderful and very modern Sepang circuit in Malaysia. Great, brilliant. And our driver of the event was RWB Isaacs. We're going to have a chat with him in a minute. But the jokers and the joker positions, do you want to talk some more about that, Speed?
Yeah, let me just close some stuff down so I can actually see it. Oh, here we go. So the person we'll be speaking to that got the joker position for the commentary box is Pinpoint. So I'll drag down him. We'll now drag Isaac down. But the top 10 that finished tonight was Mark Binnersley. Mick Binnersley finished with 44 points in 10th. Isaac, FX, and Fergie all tied 7th with 50 points. Cos came 6th with 52. Dave Crew came 5th with 54. Orange came 4th with 56. Rodders came 3rd with 67. Rigel came 2nd with 85. And the winner tonight is Evil with 89. And the joker positions in each race went to Cos in the first race, Dave Crew in the second, Pinpoint in the third, In the fourth, it was Orange, Ben Davis, and in the last one was Forgotten Company. So that puts the points and everything else to the end. I will send this across to Audi, and I'll probably be dragging down Isaac and Pinpoint.
Now, before we do that, and just remind me, so that's great. So that's an even spread of extra points to everybody that raced tonight, that Speed have called out. Now, we're speaking to Isaac as driver of the event, and we're speaking to, the random. That's right. Yeah, I've just reminded myself. We don't, we have a driver of the event and then a random number, and that random number was Pinpoint, right?
Yep, but I don't know where Pinpoint is.
Pinpoint is gone.
Oh, we just had a message from the smug one. Isaac has no mic.
Right. Okay then.
So-
Well, you know what? We will pull someone else in then. I'll tell you who we'll pull in.
And Pinners has disappeared. So let's drag two random people, and who do we want to drag in?
Let's drag in people I haven't heard of before. Let's drag in Cos and let's drag in Audi. Cos, congratulations. You are the. I'll be honest with you. You weren't the driver of the event, but you were the. And I can't lie to you because you'll watch the stream back. But you were you were the random person who said, "Right, pull him in," and that's as a result of the driver of the event being RWB Isaacs, whose microphone is not working. And to be perfectly frank with you, I went straight to you because one, we haven't spoken to you yet. No, actually, we did. That was last week or the week before. But I wanted to give you some more stage. And we've drugged Audi in as well because I want Audi to have a chat with everyone about the potential changes to the mini league with regards to closing the gap slightly. So congrats, Cos. How did it go for you?
It was really good, fun. Absolutely fun. I was just saying to the guys, I put the traction control on for the first couple of tracks because I wasn't sure of the car, and then screwed me up in Silverstone, so I took it off. And once I get used to that first, second gear, dropping it in too early, it's grand. It's a really good car. That last trick, I love that track. It's a bit hard to get used to. Yeah, I haven't raced it for years, and it took a bit of a learning curve today because I thought I knew it, and then I realised I didn't.
Yeah,
it's fun to drive.
Yeah, well, I thought I knew Imola, and then guess what? No, he doesn't. Yeah, I do. I just had a field of view for 3 screens on one screen with a field of view of 1.4. So it was, the screen looked like it was going at 1,000 miles an hour even when I was doing 10. But not taking anything away from you. You had a couple of good results. At one point, I think it was at not Silverstone. I think it was at the one before Monza. Sorry, Monza. You were middle of the pack at Monza.
I think I finished 10th in one race, so I might have got Joker at one stage.
Yeah, so that's really good. And the other thing, of course, is that you know, bless you, you're ever the wise and ever the patient. But of course, you know, we refer to you as slow and steady. By that we mean that, you know, Cos is the person who's going to keep it on the grey stuff, and Cos is the person who is going to just take it away from you if you want to drive silly and come off, and will always be there to pounce. That seems to be your sort of major sort of strategy. But is that by virtue of the fact that you know that if you push it too far or too hard, that you're just not going to be competitive with the sort of top quadrants? You know, why is that something that you've, you know, certainly put in your top drawer as a reliable strategy to use, particularly with RWB?
Well, precisely with RWB, there's so many class races that it's, you know, there's no point trying to race for the top 10. Just bide your time. Like tonight, there was a couple of incidents tonight where I gained 2 or 3 places just by biding my time patiently for the first lap, see how it goes, and then obviously the first lap people go for it, and that's when the crap happens.
Well, I think that's a really good point. So I think that you would be standing next to me to raise the flag that says it takes 2 cars to race. That's all, right?
Don't race alone.
Race RWB. That's right. Thanks, Cos, and thanks for putting up with us pouncing on you like that.
Yeah, no bother. Thank you.
Audi, you had how did your racing go?
Quite well, actually. I raced quite well. Had a few scraps up in the top until I had some mistakes. So it was a mixed bag of good racing, but mixed with some mistakes. So I got a few bad results, but I had a good fun.
Yeah, and you just said the one word twice there, which we've got to remember. That is the main point of a Thursday, is to go out there and have some fun. One car, 5 tracks. You might not even know the tracks. You might actually be someone who's in the top quadrants, but go on a track you don't even know, and guess what? You'll probably finish last or in the middle or whatever. Get used to it. That's really the main intent of the Thursday nights, is it not? To mix it up and just see how things go?
Yeah, it's intent is to, one thing is to mix it up. Another thing is to, in between, to find cars that I know are closely paced or that induce close racing. DTMs and TCR cars are always cars that you will get close racing, and not only by the top 4 or top 5, but through the whole field. So it gives a lot of good racing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Are you at liberty to discuss any further, or maybe give a slight hint, perhaps, with regards to the potential or possibility of reducing that gap even further by, I don't know whether it would be voluntary or whatever, with regards to ballast or some sort of active measure? What are you thinking there in general terms?
I can tell you this much. We've been discussing it. We have actually discussed it for quite a while, and one tool we got now in race room is to give a driver ballast. How we're going to calculate it is not 100% there yet. We need to do some trial and error, but and it will also vary a lot by car. But there might be, so we will try out some ballasting on the faster drivers, and that be others, Rigel, Speed, Evil. How we're going to implement it is not quite there yet, but soonish we will start implementing it. And the point is, you won't see how many kilos you get until you fire up the lobby on race night. I don't.
So, if Speed jumps in, he has the equivalent of a Mini sitting on the roof.
Something like that.
Why not?
It's we want it to be fair, but some trial and error. We need some trial and error, and that means that we will miss the build point at a few races.
Well, that's great. Thank you very much for that. So, although I've said, folks, with effect from next week, it might not be. It is coming, but the bottom line is that it's designed solely so that the gaps are closed a bit more, so that actually the front runners may not be the front runners as normal, and actually might be, in a position to be able to practice their racecraft, not just defensively, but attacking their way through the field, as I know the top quadrants, the top guys like to do, as well as those who are not in the top quadrants, but the sort of steady state runners that are just below the top, have the opportunity to lead. Leading a race when you've got 20 people behind you is as difficult as, working your way through or holding position.
Believe you me, I'm not used to winning, but I've been in one particular race that we had on Bathurst in actually these type of cars where I won, and the last 15 minutes with Rodos chasing me was the absolute worst experience I've ever had. Just watching the gap getting lower and lower for every lap. Yeah, but fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great. Speed, have you got anything for Audi?
No, I just look forward to the new mini league and way we do it when we decide what we're doing.
Yeah. Nice.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Audi. Thank you very much, Cos, for joining us. We're going to close the stream now. Apologies to everyone for the technical problems at the beginning. This is about the 4th time I'm going to say it, but I'll say it again. This is RWB, not BBC, ITV, or Channel 3. Sometimes we swear. Sometimes we drop the odd clanger, you know, so be it. If you don't like it, don't watch it. We primarily do it, of course, for our RWB members and the wider community, and we don't really give a monkey's who you're part of, what colour you are, what religion you are, where you come from in the world. We respect everybody, and the whole point of RWB in general is to race clean, race fair, race for position, respect other people, and of course have fun. And Thursday nights is the epitome of that.
Before you close it,
yeah, sure.
Close it. Yeah, I just want to say, looking at the results now, I see that we have got 26 guys that's been racing with us tonight. Not everyone at the same time, but anyway, 26 is a really good turnout, and I have to say thank you very much.
Noted, and there you go. That's a thank you from the designer, the sponsor, the race director, the creator, the master of the Thursday night leagues, Audi, and that absolutely is the right thing to say. That is a great turnout. And of course, that's the other thing, and I've said that before as well about Thursday nights. You know, you haven't got to commit to all night. You know, you can either turn up and just do one race and enjoy that. You can turn up and do all 5. Or you could be like some of the hardcore members and other people from other leagues and other clubs who turn up and do all 5 every Thursday religiously and never miss. But 26, you know, throughout the night is a fantastic number. So, so very many congrats, Audi. You know, every Thursday is a good turnout anyway, but 26 is really something, isn't it?
Yeah.
Marvellous. Right, okay. So we're going to close down the stream. And as I said, one, apologies for the technical problems at the beginning there with regards to the stream and our race director and all the rest of it. And I will now formally apologise for the appalling racing standards that I showed everybody. And I've given you my excuses, but all I'll say is I'll be back. Remember, it only takes 2 cars to race, and you're not always going to finish first. Sometimes you're going to finish at the back. Just enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, don't do it. Right then, we'll close the stream. So thank you very much. You know how to get our details. If you don't, then pop along to our website, rwbracing.club. You've got all the details there. You've got our Discord there. You've got our affiliate links there. We can help you out. Purchase a sync or a new steering wheel. It's not a problem. Speed, thanks very much. I know you've held the fort a couple of times. You had someone knock on the door. The cat was eating the dog, and oh my god, all things were going on. And so thanks very much for sticking with it and for putting up with my really bad example of the commentary team. Sorry.
It's nothing to worry about, mate. We do it for the fun.
For the fun, for the love. And with that, I'll sign off. He's been Speed.
He's been Tiger.
Thanks very much, everyone. Don't forget, this Saturday, 21:30. That's 9:30 p.m. for those of you who have never done military service or learnt the 24-hour clock. 9:30 on Saturday, Formula 1. My God, that's a show. Remember, don't race alone. Race RWB. Take care now. Bye-bye.